Hello and welcome back to Armchair Armory and the first preview of the brand new Premier League season. We are playing Brentford at the brand new, it's brand new all over the place, brand new Brentford Community Stadium, which isn't far away from where I work actually. We are playing Premier League new boys who will definitely be up for it. And once again, we go into a new season undercooked. That's one thing I will agree with the general consensus from the fans, is that we are missing a couple of players, where we have too many players in some cases. We have players that we thought we were going to be selling, but we're not anymore. I'm thinking mainly of Granit Xhaka and Hector Bellerin. I'm less bothered by Xhaka than I am Bellerin, because I think, although I don't have this irrational hatred of Bellerin or anything, I just think that he's lost couple of yards of pace since he first burst onto the scene since his injury, and he's not as good as he once was, and I don't think he's good enough to be the starting right back for Arsenal anymore. The competition now for me comes down to Chambers and Cedric, so we've still got people here that we thought weren't going to be here anymore. We've only signed one starting 11 player, which you could argue maybe we shouldn't have. Obviously that's Ben White. In terms of centre-back, we've signed two squad players in Tavares and Lakonga, even though I think Lakonga might start tomorrow. It's going to be a tough game, because as I say, Brentford will be up for it. We remember what happened when Leeds started their campaign at Anfield. They lost the game 4-3, but they gave Liverpool a game. And I believe with players like Ivan Toney, Brentford will give us a game, especially being that it's their first game at home in the Premier League for the first time in their history. And if performances in pre-season go by anything, then we're in trouble, because we still can't score, we still can't create. So it's going to be a difficult game, put it that way. But there's been seasons in the past, back in the Wenger days, where we've had really good pre-seasons and beaten really big teams and stuff like that, and then we come out in the season and completely falter and we're rubbish. And then there are other times where we do really well in really badly in pre-season and go on to do really well. So it's hard to speculate at this point. I still think that the kind of outcry for the manager to go and everyone to be thrown into the sun is a bit over the top, because as I said with the Spurs game, the Spurs friendly, as much as I hate losing to Spurs and I always want to beat Spurs, I don't really care about that game. I'd care more about the game coming up at the end of September against them rather than this game. Yes, we lost 1-0. Yes, the goal that we conceded was silly. It was based on a silly error by Pablo Mari, but it's not something to read into, I don't think. If we get to Brentford tomorrow, and if this simulation comes to pass and we're 2-1 down by half time, then I'd be slightly worried about where we're going. I know there's only a couple of weeks left of the transfer window as well, but at this point it's kind of redundant, because we should have really done our business a lot earlier than we did, particularly with the first 11. As I said, I'm not particularly bothered by the players that we've signed. I'm just bothered about, as I said the other day, I'm bothered about the amount of the first team players that we've signed, which is only one, and the fact that we haven't sold anybody. On the flip side, it looks like we've agreed a 20 to 25 million pound deal with Newcastle for Joe Willock, which a lot of people seem to be pissed off about. And I understand in a way, Joe Willock on that loan was probably one of Newcastle's best players, and he's picked up goals and assists for us in the past. I just feel at this stage, I don't think, especially with Lakonga coming in, and Lakonga doing so well in pre-season, I don't think he would have got into the team, because he normally plays in that kind of central pivot. He would have played alongside Xhaka or Partey or Nenny or someone like that. So I don't think he would have got into the team. There's rumours that Kolasinac might be on his way to Fenerbahce. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but yeah. But there's still we'll just have to take it as it comes. The other thing that was quite shocking that I saw, I wasn't expecting that, and I put a tweet out about it to my 38 followers, which was around Tammy Abraham. Now, apparently, Chelsea have agreed a £34 million deal with Roma. There's also rumours that, which have also been debunked by certain ITKs and that kind of thing, that he's also agreed personal terms with Arsenal. You know, if we lose out to Roma, I'm not necessarily going to be annoyed about it, but I know that there's going to be, if we go into the season, let's say we're 10 games in and we've not scored many goals, you'll see the same people that were complaining about the fact that we were linked with Tammy Abraham saying, why didn't we sign Tammy Abraham? And that would just prove my point, that we're just being snobbish towards these players because it's a fellow quote unquote rival, so to speak. I think it's just not been I think a lot of the business that they wanted to do before the Euros and slightly after the Euros just kind of went by the wayside for whatever reason. Like, they were hoping to get that £20 million from Roma for Xhaka. It didn't happen. So now they've got to look at other options. There was also Bellerin was pretty much on his way out, and I don't know what happened there, but all of a sudden now we're offering him a new contract, which is that's a little bit crazy to me, because I thought that, like, Bellerin wanted to leave. I thought Bellerin had gone to Arteta and said, I think I want a new challenge. And every time he says that, he always seems to be here a lot longer. But anyway, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's at this stage I've got to the point now where I'm not going to throw my toys out of the pram about the transfer window. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. As I've said before, I think it's going to be more of the same. I haven't seen anything that makes me think that we're any better, apart from Lakonga looks good, Ben White looks good, Tavares looks good, but it hasn't necessarily, from pre-season, it doesn't look like it's changed us that much, and I feel it's probably going to be more of the same, and we're going to be looking for a new manager by Christmas, I think. Whether that comes to pass or not is another thing, but yeah, that's the way I see it at the moment. And again, as I said last season after the Villarreal loss over the two legs, like, I'm not going to sit here and campaign for Arteta to go. I will back the team and the manager until he does go. But yeah, it's clear that, like, things are probably going to be the same, and I don't think it stops with Arteta. I think that, as I've said many times, I think it's a problem that we've had for years, even when Wenger was still here. So yeah, just pinning it on one person isn't going to solve the problem. But anyway, so in terms of my predicted lineup, I think it's going to be pretty much the same lineup that played against Spurs in that friendly. I think I put a tweet out actually saying I think this will be pretty much the lineup that will start against Brentford. I thought that Chambers would be in instead of Bellerin, but it looks like Bellerin might be starting right back going forward. So yeah, that will be interesting to see. I actually think we're going to lose this game. Typical kind of pessimist that I am. I think we're going to lose this 1-0 or 2-1. Because at the moment I can't see where the goals are going to come from. I can imagine that, like, it'll be one of those games where we'll score early and all will be forgiven and all the fans will be like, oh, we look so good, and we'll probably dominate the first half, and then the second half we'll probably concede a stupid goal, and then Ivan Toney will score a penalty towards the end of the game or something like that. Because Brentford will, as I said, Brentford will be up for it, and it will be tough. But let's see, I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I think for some reason I've just got a bad feeling about this season in general. Like, I'm trying to remain impartial, but yeah, I do have a really bad feeling about this season, because from what I've seen, and I granted I didn't pay for any of the pre-season games, but from what I've seen in the highlights, we're still making the same mistakes. We haven't improved that much from the pre-season games, but you know, things might change between now and Friday evening, basically, because we've got a really this is why I'm saying I've got a bad season, because we've got a really bad run in, a really bad start to the season, should I say. You know, Premier League new boys in Brentford, Chelsea the following week, Man City, I'm not going to count the Carabao Cup second round, but yeah, then we've got Man City on the 28th. Norwich is going to be hard as well, even though it's at the Emirates. They're also in the Premier League, and they'll probably be trying to get as many points of teams as possible. And our home form last season was awful. Burnley might be one that we'll get a bit of rest, but Norwich and Burnley are games that we can win. And then at the end of September, we've got Tottenham at the Emirates. And again, that North London derby always hard. The only thing I would say with Tottenham is that, like, I don't think Nuno Espirito Santo is as good a manager. He definitely isn't as good a manager as Jose Mourinho, but even Pochettino. So I think, and if they lose Harry Kane, I think they lose a lot of what hurts us a lot of the time. So, you know, I think we've got a chance against them, but it's always hard with Tottenham. Then looking at the other fixtures, I mean, we've got, then after that, we've got, in October, we've got Brighton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, and then at the end of October, we've got Leicester City at the King Power. That's going to be difficult. It's going to be hostile, especially if we've taken James Maddison away, which I don't think we will do. Yeah, I think if we're not sitting within the Europa League places by the time we play maybe Southampton at home on December the 11th, maybe West Ham at home on the 14th of December, I'm not sure, but like one of those games, Arteta ain't going to be here anymore, plain and simple. And that's the thing, it doesn't help that like our first 3 games are against a newly promoted club that are playing making history, and they'll probably want to make history by beating us. Then we got Chelsea, who, you know, we do have a decent record against in the Premier League, but it's still going to be. We beat them twice last season. That famous debut of Emile Smith-Rowe on Boxing Day, and then 2 or 3 games before the end of the season when we beat them 1-0 through an Emile Smith-Rowe goal as well. So we're looking at, yeah, that. But even though we do have a good record at them, especially at against them, especially at the Emirates, it's still going to be a really, really tough game. And then City, you may as well just write off. Like City, we're not gonna beat City. No way. Not at the Etihad anyway. We're not gonna beat City. So it's really, really tough. For me, like I'm in between, because I'm not gonna, like, if we get to City and we've only got like 1 point or something, I'm not gonna be going crazy and saying Arteta. I wouldn't say Arteta out anyway, but I wouldn't be thinking the manager needs to go now. It would probably be if we get to Tottenham, if we drop points against Norwich and Burnley and we get to Tottenham and lose to them, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, now he's really under pressure. Now the temperature's gone up, on the boiling point has gone a bit more. We'll just have to see. I'm excited for the new season, but at the same time I'm very nervous about it, because I didn't think that we'd get any lower than we've gotten, and I think that if things carry on and we can't, and we, you know, we dominate games but don't score, we make it hard for teams to, which is a good thing. We make it hard for teams to score against us, but then concede like a really stupid goal in the last 10-15 minutes of a game, then we're going to have a lot of the same of what happened last season, like occasional good performances against like the top 6 and stuff like that, and then yeah, just completely like mediocre. So yeah, if and again, if the club have anything about them, if they see that it's getting worse, they will move Arteta on. The other thing is, obviously, I think the fans still need to be culpable for their actions. I still think they need to be held to account for the fact that like they overreact after every single result. And I think for me, the best way to go about it is to wait until we get to Tottenham at home and then assess after that. If you wanted to be kind, you could even wait until Christmas, because like we are going to probably have bumps in the road. But it's the ones that annoy me the most are the flip-flops. The ones that are like 1 minute they're like XYZ is a baller, Mikel Arteta's and all this kind of stuff, and then as soon as we lose a game, they're like Arteta out, blah blah blah. And that's why I'm saying I think most of them just do it for clicks, to try and look crazy. There was one guy I remember once on the football terrace that was like in his car screaming his head off, and it just looked so fake. It looked like he was acting, basically. It didn't look like passion at all. It looked like he'd rehearsed it. I think I remember someone from Chelsea, one of the Chelsea fan channels, doing that once as well. Like,
I'm angry, but I've got to make sure that I show that I'm angry so I get loads of views.
It's just how this kind of reaction stuff has become a business now. Football reaction stuff has become a business. It's crazy. You know, even if we lose, I always try to be very measured with how I respond. I try not to rant. I mean, I think I've only ever, since I've started doing this, I think I've only ever properly ranted once or twice. So the Super League and Liverpool at home, I think I ranted. Other than that, I've been upset and I've been kind of depressed about a result like Villarreal, for example, but I've not overreacted to the point of where, like, you just look silly. I guess that's it, really. Like, there's not really much else to say. We'll just have to see what happens tomorrow. I'll be back again with the first match review of the season, and let's see whether I eat my words and end up ranting. Anyway, thanks for listening / watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll be back on Friday / Saturday with the review of the game. So take care, stay safe. This is Deepeye signing out.
On to Pepe. Space afforded him. Fed over towards the back post. Well, he wasn't messing around with the clearance. Magnificent challenge to win it back. Counter-attacking, very much an option. And players waiting in the centre. Can he put it in? And he's only gone and made it a hat-trick.
Well, when he's in this sort of mood, he's absolutely unstoppable. What a performance. Well, having scored 2, he's going to get the hat-trick at some point, you feel. He's just so full of confidence, never looked like missing.
Well, let's take another look at that goal, shall we? And they're making a change. So the current scoreline, 4-2. Nicolas Pepe. Really good interception. Excellent defending. Saka. An encouraging Arsenal move. Made it a bit too easy for his opponent. And played to the front post. Well cleared away. And taken away. Aubameyang. Oh, big chance. Well, they can say a big thank you to the goalkeeper. That was inspirational.
Well, that's as good as a goal at the other end. Brilliant save from the keeper.
Well, they've been getting the substitute ready, and now they will make the personnel change. Played into the centre of the box. Well, strongly fisted away. Good pressure to win the... Didn't fool the keeper. Well, he's given a corner, the referee. And firing it into the area. Crucial intervention just then amid impending danger. Well, snuffing out the danger, but a corner coming up. So deciding to make a personnel change at this juncture. He's driven in the corner and fisted away. Excellent challenge. Only 10 minutes remaining here. Well, given that we're in the second half, and it has got a bit ugly from the scoreline point of view, what positives can you find, Lee?
Well, just have a look at the Arsenal players. How frustrated do they look now? And quite rightly so. They've been poor tonight. They've let their standards drop. Inexcusable, really. Back to the drawing board, I'm afraid. No way back from here for me.
And he's through here. Cross towards that far post. Well, he couldn't quite keep that header down. And it's a case of just 5 minutes left. Well, no stopping him. And he's broken free. Godus. Tariq Fosu. And smart defending. Oh, poor from the keeper. There's the goal. Surely now, that is that.
Well, we're going to see the replay. The goalkeeper won't want to see this again. He gives the ball away. Still a bit to do, to be fair, but it's his fault.
Well, let's take another look at that goal, shall we? Roerslev with it. And winning it back. Running with the ball confidently. And the challenge halts them in their tracks. Ivan Toney. So the final whistle now, and disappointment for Arsenal, you've got to say. A defeat for them. Lee, your assessment?
Well, Derek, they were outfought today, and that's unforgivable. You don't mind being outplayed, and they surely were, but not to put up a fight, that's a scandal.
Oh, in with a chance. Must be. An Arsenal corner. An attack full of promise. Oh, a lovely ball. And there it is, 1-0. Their efforts have been rewarded. And look at the celebrations. And a goal! He was composure personified, and he's done his job from the spot. Lacazette could reduce the deficit, and he does. There is hope for them, despite the adversity they suffered earlier. And Arsenal now find themselves in potentially a dangerous position. Well, there it is. Can you believe this? From 2 down, they now find themselves level. In a position from which they could potentially do a bit of damage here. Has eyes for goal. And a goal! Just like that, they're back in front. And players waiting in the centre. Can he put it in? And he's only gone and made it a hat-trick.
Well, when he's in this sort of mood, he's absolutely unstoppable. What a performance.
Aubameyang. Well, they can say a big thank you to the goalkeeper. That was inspirational.
Well, that's as good as a goal at the other end. Brilliant.
Didn't fool the keeper. Well, he's given a corner, the referee. Well, he couldn't quite keep that header down. Oh, poor from the keeper.